And welcome into Scottie Sports Talk here tonight, our third edition of the season. An action-packed show anticipated for tonight, as we'll have some football talk, cross country as well, and volleyball. Also, Vice President of Student Services, Eric Ingmeyer, will join me here on Scottie Sports Talk tonight. But first up, we'll, of course, have a special interview for us here tonight. We chat with former Highland football player and now New England Patriots safety Brandon King. That's coming up on Scottie Sports Talk. Community College Scottie football player, all-time leading tackler in Scottie history on the defensive side of the ball, and now third-year safety in the NFL with the New England Patriots. Brandon King joining me here. Thanks for taking the time, Brandon, to catch up with us here at Highland Community College. And first off, congratulations on being in the NFL. Now your third year with the Patriots and won the Super Bowl last year with them. But what was it like to achieve the dream of getting into the NFL?
Oh, it was amazing being able to accomplish something like that. It's something you work for your entire life, especially being in this business. Started playing football when I was 5 years old. It was a long time going through and working through all of that, and just getting to having the opportunity to actually be on that stage and be able to actually perform in front of everyone you grew up with. It's so many people that after they got out of high school, it might be their last time playing. For me, I got an opportunity to go a little bit further with Highland, so I took advantage of every opportunity. Just being on the stage was amazing. Being able to accomplish that is something that you can never even think about, how to feel when you get out there. It was just something totally different, man. It was a different vibe, different all around. You're at the top of the line, and after you get there, you look around. It's pretty much like just a flash, just thinking about everything you've been through before. Just being there at that moment it's pretty much a point where you're like, man, how did this happen? But all the preparation and work that you have to put through, it's not like people just automatically just, boom, you're in a, Super Bowl. It's so much work and so much preparation that's put into that to make sure that the team is successful, make sure you're successful. At the end of the day, when you're in the Super Bowl, you're the best team going against the best team. So everything counts at that point.
I wanted to obviously ask you about your time as a Scottie and playing at the junior college level. And as you mentioned, not a lot of guys get the opportunity to play at college, no matter what the level it may be. But we'll talk about the Super Bowl and NFL a little bit more in depth a little bit. But what was it like to play at Highland, and what's some of the maybe fondest memories you got from playing at Highland?
Oh, it was great. I first got there. Kind of blew my mind being at Highland Community College because I really didn't know what to expect. It was pretty much, I didn't take a visit or anything there. The first day I showed up, I was, already there. I was already enrolled and had everything moving, but just that, it taught me a lot being there. You got to understand that in football, sometimes you're not in the best place that you want to be in, and Highland was a great building point for me, and I learned so much being there. You meet so many different people. I'm from Alabama. And me going to Kansas was a complete culture shock. Being in the SEC, I'm from Alabama, so we really focused on like the SEC. I really didn't, think too much to the NFL. I was just trying to make it to that was my plan, just to make it to the Southeastern Conference. So getting there, it was a challenge, man. First year didn't go the way we wanted it to, but the coaches never gave up on the new players. We just came out and just anytime anything went wrong, you just try to learn from it. Football's football, man. That's what a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people go, like, man, I'm in junior college, man. I can't believe this. It's not like the running gets easier. Everything's a step up. So any opportunity that you have to continue to play the game, to continue to learn from it, I feel like everyone should take that opportunity and run with it. Just like I said in high school, there was a lot of people that I played with really loved the game of football, and they never could, take that step to go into the next level. So for me, I was just thankful to be not back at home, completely dependent on my parents, and actually I understand that I was there for a reason. I'm there to get my associate's degree. I'm there to, try to get recruited at a Division I level. So just keeping a great attitude and going out and attacking every day like I'm already at a Division I school.
No doubt. Well, you turned obviously your opportunity to Division I level, playing at Auburn for your final 2 years before getting into the NFL, and you also played a multitude of positions while in college. I mean, you took advantage of that and learned to play on the defensive line, linebacker, and of course safety, which you play in the NFL. But how did that help you, become the NFL player that you are, and become the player that you are, having that capability of being able to play all those positions?
It just goes with back to Highland. Like, you have to take every opportunity and run with it. For me, if they told me to play a different position, I'm not the type of person that's like, oh, I don't want to play this. This isn't my position. I'm the type of person that's going to be like, I get an opportunity to still play, and whatever they tell me to do, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability, even if I was put out of my comfort zone at some point in time. But it kind of helped me. In Auburn, I started playing safety. Ended up getting moved to linebacker halfway through the season. By the end of the season, I was playing defensive line. But that helped me a lot transitioning to the NFL, because by the time I was leaving Auburn, I was going against, 310, 320-pound tackles every day. So finally getting a breath from, not having to be in that three-point stance or, having to rush the edge against those big guys, transitioning right to the NFL. Special teams wise, we're going against people on punt return that are 70, 80 pounds, lighter than those offensive tackles. So for me, that was a little breath of fresh air. And for other people that's my size, they're looking at it like, man, this guy's 245, 250 pounds. Me, I'm not looking at it like, oh, they're 240, 250 pounds. I'm looking at it like, I'm just happy they're not 320, 330 pounds. So it helped me out a lot by, being supposed to be in those types of stances. You learn a lot from it, man. Like, even playing linebacker, sometimes you transition to different plays, different formations where you might be on the edge, and all those pass rush moves that I had to do in Auburn, and everything that took me out of my comfort zone, has really got to the point now where it doesn't really matter where they put me. I can just revert back to where I was before and just try to succeed and just try to take on everything that I can while I can. It's a short business, man. Like, a lot of people don't understand that it's a lot of wear and tear on your body. I've been playing this game for 5 years. I feel great, but you just got to make sure you're paying attention to things. You're paying attention to detail, because you never know. You got to pay attention to your surroundings. Make sure you protect yourself also.
Chatting with former Highland Community College Scottie football player Brandon King, now safety with the New England Patriots in his third season. And Brandon, you wanted to go back to the NFL, and now, of course, third year. You played, with the team that won the Super Bowl last year, and opportunity to do a lot of different things in the NFL. But any big memory so far through your young NFL career in these last 3 years?
Memories for me, man. I'm not big on the past. Just for me, only thing that sticks with me is I just couldn't think about anything other than being in the Super Bowl and remember how much I ran. It was totally something that I never thought that would happen, and all that running and just being there, you just didn't want to pretty much let yourself down. Everything that you put into it. It was great being there. One of the best memories for me is when I first got out there. I was just looking around, and I just think about all those times just being in Highland, they waking us up early, and we're running outside, in the cornfields when we had to. I don't know if they still, have it out there, but used to go out and walk to practice out there on that cornfield, man. And it's just a lot of memories being back in Alabama. And you close your eyes one day and you open them after just putting your head down for so many years and just grinding and working and having so many people tell you, no, you're not gonna be able to do this, you're not gonna be able to do that, but just keeping your head down and working, man. It's just beautiful how it turned out for me.
I wanted to ask you also, you get to practice against a guy like Tom Brady. What's it like, being able to practice against a Hall of Fame quarterback like that, but also what it's like to be a part of a class organization like the Patriots?
Oh, it's great. He comes with a lot of energy every day, man. A lot of people think that a lot of people in this position are just put there and they just have it. One thing with me being here, seeing that guy just come in every day with the same attitude, same work ethic, every single day, never fails, never falls short. It's crazy just to think that someone could do that for so long and still be able to still do that at the age he is. But it's amazing going against everyone here, man. Everyone gives great competition. Doesn't matter if it's Tom back there or not. No one acts different in this building. We all just come here to work. We understand what we have to do, and as a man, we just try to do it to the best of our ability. It's no one's job but ourselves, and at the end of the day, that's just what it is.
Being a junior college guy, yourself, obviously getting the opportunity there, then to continue yourself in the opportunities at the D1 level and now in the NFL, what would be your advice to players that are wanting to try to continue their football career and again get the opportunity at the junior college level? Would you kind of tell them, obviously, take that opportunity and run with it because they're pretty limited?
It's so crazy you asking me that, because I don't know. I still kind of feel like I'm that junior college player. You know what I mean? I never felt like I've been an opportunity to be in this position. But for those guys, I would just tell them, man, just one of the things that kind of threw me when I first got to Highland, I was from Alabama, from the South, and I got up there, and I was just like, man, I can't believe these, guys are from the Midwest, this and that. And it was just like, different. It was different for me. I've never met anyone from there. I feel like the best thing to tell those guys is, no, it doesn't matter where people come from. It doesn't matter what lifestyle. When you have an opportunity on your plate, you need to take advantage of it, because in the same instance that you're there, you can, not be there also. There's so many people working to try to do something and be successful. I feel like one thing that you really don't want to have on your plate is someone being able to say something negative about you. I just felt like throughout my career, I just wanted to be able to be the person that someone looked and be like, okay, well, this guy ran all the time. This guy didn't have a bad attitude. And there's so many people competing these days that you don't want to be the type of person that isn't a good team player or doesn't, go to class or doesn't do this, because people are, investing so much time and effort and money into you. Even if you're at the junior college level, someone, still invested in you. You just need to take advantage of that and just run with it, because you never know when you get the opportunity again and when somebody will, potentially take it from you.
Brandon, thanks for taking the time to chat with us and revisit your time at Highland, and best of luck for you and the Patriots for the rest of the season. Thanks for taking the time.
Oh, yeah. Go Scottie.
New England Patriots safety and former Highland Community College Scottie football player Brandon King here on the Scottie Sports Network. We'll continue on with Scottie Sports Talk when we come back.
I chose to come to Highland Community College because of the affordability. With my scholarship, I'll be graduating debt-free. But the best part is, I'm getting the same college experience as a lot of my friends who go to four-year universities.
Highland Community College. Enroll today at highlandcc.edu.
Welcome back here on Scottie Sports Talk tonight, our third edition of the school year. Of course, Mike Smith now joined by a couple of football guys, Kendrick, Catis, linebacker for Highland, and Naricuss, driver, now quarterback for the Scotties as well. And guys, I know the season in the win-loss column obviously hasn't went the way you wanted it, but you compete against the number one team, Iowa Western, in the most recent game, and give them all that they could handle, 48-24. The final score maybe not indicative of how that game played out. And Naricuss, I'll start with you. You get a start at quarterback in the matchup. How comfortable did you feel out there at quarterback, being able to run that offense? And you ran the ball, of course, pretty well, nearly 100 yards on a couple 22 carries.
Well, I played quarterback throughout high school. It was a new to me or whatever. I came here to play it. They changed my position and changed me back. So it wasn't really hard from that position changing.
Of course, you talk about your position change, obviously playing tight end early on in the season. And how did you change to that? I mean, obviously you came here as a quarterback, but to get on the field, had an opportunity to be a tight end. How did that kind of change you up a little bit as far as your game style early on in the year?
So really, I'm an athlete. I can play receiver too. So throughout high school, I played a little bit receiver too. Nice. Came here, played tight end, so I have big hands I can catch.
No doubt. I mean, that helps obviously. And Kendrick, you've been having a good season overall. Defense has been really strong. I know give up 48 points to Iowa Western, but ultimately have held down quite a few of opponents. Obviously, you only give up 9 points to Independence, 6 to Butler in those showdowns. And you're around 50 tackles on the season so far, second on the team. But how do you think your individual season has gone so far?
I mean, I feel like I got better from last year. So, I mean, all season we worked hard. So, it's just going well for me. Better than last year. I got better, fits everything that I needed to fix. Yeah. Playing ball.
You almost had a pick six, of course, against Indy. I know, call back on the penalty, and some said you were maybe out before you got there. But
yeah, I got out on the 3-yard line.
But what was it like to get that interception? I mean, early on, and kind of help set the tone in that ball game for the defense.
I mean, it felt good because during practice, when you practice hard, Coach always said when you practice hard during the game, it should be easy. So just practice hard. We practice in the zone. And I just opened up, saw the tight end going up the seam, put my hands on him, and the ball was right there. As soon as I turned my head back towards the quarterback. I mean, when I got it, it's just like a feeling like you could smell the end zone. So.
I know that I was telling you before we got talking that you're one tackle away from 100 in your career here at Highland, and about 25, 24 away from the top 10, in school history. Is that now maybe a motivating goal to kind of help finish off the season? Kind of be able to do that.
I mean, it is a motivating goal, but I'm gonna try to average at least 10 or 12 tackles throughout the last 3 games, so I could be in the top 10. That'd be great.
Nice. Well, Naricuss, of course, you took over at the quarterback spot like we talked about, and helped the offense have one of the best offensive games in the past few weeks in the season, and the run game got pretty established. What was kind of the game plan going against Iowa Western? I mean, you're obviously got good skills with your legs to be able to run the ball yourself, but you had a guy like Willie Jordan in the backfield as well, too, to hand it off as well.
Well, Willie Jordan, he made it a lot easier on me. And plus, the O-line we have, they did a good job against Iowa Western, the #1 team in the country. We really just ran hard, and our re-auction, they didn't know who to stick, me or Willie, so he opened up the run game for me, too.
You feel that that's going to be successful moving forward for the rest of the season?
Yes, it should.
You guys got 3 more games, of course, to go in the season here. Any particular message that coaches reiterated to you getting ready for these final 3 games of the regular season?
Go
ahead. Okay.
I mean, on defense, Coach Vaughn said we should attack every week like a championship week, like we about to play a Super Bowl, so practice hard.
Yeah, and like on offense, stand up. We did play every game like it's our last. Just every time we get the ball, we would like to score.
Getting the offense to roll, of course, last week. Hopefully you can continue that against Fort Scott this week. And, guys, I always talk to all of our student athletes that we have on Scottie Sports Talk about getting to know them. Just kind of, what you like, what you like about Highland and stuff. So kind of a few get-to-know-you questions here before we wrap it up. But what's your guys' favorite foods?
Well, I love hot wings.
Kendrick, what about you, man?
Honey barbecue wings.
All right, there you go. So Buffalo Wild Wings probably a hot spot for you. Buffalo Wild Wings probably a good spot for both of you then.
Or Applebee's.
Applebee's too, yeah. All right. What's maybe you got any like pregame ritual or like a song you like to listen to before you get ready for the game? Kind of get you hyped up.
You can go in.
Oh yeah, I listen to music like 24/7.
Yeah.
So
what's the #1 thing on your iPod?
My favorite artist is Chief Keef. Yeah, he just get me crunk, ready for hype for the game.
I'll probably say Kodak Black, NBA young boy.
Nice, that's good. All right, and all right. Well, what about any unique talents that you guys got outside of football? What's maybe something that you like to do, or you gonna have a talent at?
I'm just a straight-up football player. I have no talents outside of football. I'm all football.
I think one of my talents is getting along with people.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
So you can build some good relationships.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads me to the next one. You being able to build some good relationships being here at Highland?
I mean, yeah, I did.
Yeah. Naricuss, you as well?
Yeah. I'm the quarterback, so I'm trying to make friends with everybody. Yeah.
It might be ideal for you to make some friends with a few guys that offensive line up front.
Yeah, offensive line, yeah.
Well, I'll let you guys out of here on this one. Obviously, a lot of the guys on the football team are from all over the United States, and now come here to Highland to get the opportunity to play. But what's one of your favorite things that you've come to love about being here at Highland?
I mean, Highland have a lot of great people. I mean, you can get along with everybody. You can focus here. I mean, it's not much fun to do, but you can focus on your schoolwork. I mean, it's just great people here.
Naricuss, what are you, man?
Yeah, I can say the same thing on that standpoint. Yeah, it's ain't much to do, so you have to focus, do your schoolwork, and you have to make friends anyway to make it fun. So.
Definitely getting the opportunity, of course, to do that, and of course play football as well. And Kendrick, obviously, you committed to Arizona State, so congrats on that, by the way. and as you continue your career after Highlands. And Naricuss, looking forward to many more big things from you as well.
Yes.
Kendrick, Catis, and Naricuss Driver join us here on Scottie Sports Talk. We'll switch it up and chat some volleyball when we return on Scottie Sports Talk.
I work hard for what I want, for what I need to be better. Paying for college shouldn't be such a struggle just because I'm coming from another state.
It doesn't have to be. At Highland Community College, out-of-state students pay the same as in-state students.
And I can become whoever I want to be at a fraction of the cost of a university.
Discover an affordable technical or transfer education here at Highland Community College.
Welcome back here on Scottie Sports Talk. Mike Smith now joined and talking some volleyball, joined by head coach John Bingesser and freshman Emma Cohalla. Coach, it's been a while since we've talked. A lot of games logged for you and the gals overall, now 28-11 and 6-2 in conference play. But I know there's a little bit of a struggle period in between some of the matches here recently. But how do you feel that the gals are playing in these last couple tournaments and some of the Jayhawk conference action?
I think we're playing well at the right time. We did have a little slump up at Iowa Western, but that I think was my fault with the scheduling. We've done a lot. I mean, I've pushed these girls harder this year than my previous 2 years, and we've done probably 10 more games than we did last year, and that is hard on someone's body. But I think that we've rose to that challenge, and especially here towards the end, we've got the right mindset and the right idea of what we need to do to make our goal the reality.
Sitting at 28 wins, which is the most since 2006 for Highland, and ultimately 6 wins, I think, in the Jayhawk Conference is most since 2011, too, and back-to-back 20-win seasons. So the gals are obviously clicking, and a lot of different players are playing well. And the gal sitting next to you, of course, comes in as a freshman and steps in and makes a pretty big impact from the start. But talk about what Emma's provided for the team.
Emma's provided a lot more than just basic skill set. She brings that sort of leadership skill and that personality that's just likable. And so I like to coach her, which means that the girls like to play with her. And we've even had conversations before. I've told her, because our middles will rotate out back row for a libero. And I said, Em, every time you go in, for some reason, we just get a run going right off the bat. And so whatever you're doing, you just got to keep that up. And I'm really thankful for her positive attitude, her leadership skills, on top of the skill set, and that's been a real blessing for me this year. So,
Emma, as I said, you come in and jump right in. I mean, right off the bat, make a pretty big impact, and had 20 kills against Longview here in the home tournament. Best career kill game so far for you this season. But what was it like just to kind of come here to Highland and jump into the fold and play thus far this season?
Well, I don't think anything really changed for me coming here, because I've always loved just playing volleyball, but it kind of took my competitiveness to another level and wanting to get better. So every time that I step on the court, I'm always like looking for like new things to improve on, whether it's like blocking or like getting faster off the net and in faster. And so I think it's just taken my mindset from high school club ball to college ball completely different and made me more competitive and a harder worker.
Well, one thing you mentioned that you've been pretty darn good at is blocking the ball. 103 blocks so far this season, and you're on pace to potentially, of course, have one of the best. Or actually, I think you do have one of the top 5 single-season marks in Highland history in blocks. But what kind of mindset does it take to be, a good blocker up at the net?
Just like wanting every ball. Like I am working like continuously to close the block, but like I'm always like trying to get at least a touch on it, or like at least slow it down from my back row. Or when it's like me on the middle, like I want to block her so bad. Like I don't want anything to come past me when it's like me on a middle. So having that mindset of nothing goes past me when it's a middle against middle is, I think, really big mindset.
Well, Coach, having that aspect obviously is a good one up front, and having the aspect of having multitude of gals that can make plays all over the place is what makes you strong too. I mean, you have 4 girls with 200 or more kills on the season. Catis has well over 1,000 assists on the year now, and it just seems like every gal is fitting into their specific role pretty well.
Like I said, we're figuring it out, and come crunch time, 2 things can happen. You can kind of divert back to, what's comfortable, or you can take it one step further. And I believe we're going to take it one step further. And that's with the girls, that their stats, their mentality, it's right on, and it's clicking at the right time, and it's showing right now.
You got 2 more games left in the regular season. Of course, Wednesday against Heston at home, and then you wrap up the regular season against Cali in a big match on next Monday, week from today. What's the mindset going into those 2 showdowns?
Well, we know for sure that Wednesday, a win there will solidify us as top 3 in the region, which is where we want to be. That's where we've planned on being all season. A double win, meaning we win Wednesday and we win Cali on Monday, will put us at 2nd place in the conference, and that is a huge goal. 100% obtainable too, and I think we're focused in on it. That's where our mind is right now, and that's hosting that 2nd district, because it is still 100% an option for us.
Emma, I wanted to ask you about, obviously you come in as a freshman, and at junior college, obviously you're only around for a couple of years too. But how was it being able to adapt to the team chemistry? I mean, a lot of other freshmen coming in, a few girls back that obviously have some experience that you can rely upon, but how has the team chemistry developed over the year?
I think being here early in July helped us so much, because it was just the volleyball team and football team, and so we had to spend every day together, and so we really clicked from the start. And I know a lot of us are there's 5 girls just from Kansas City, Missouri, so 5 out of the 17 that were here, we've already known each other and played with each other, and a lot of people have known of each other throughout the year, and so we just started off with a really strong connection from the early start, and it's just gotten stronger throughout the year.
As I asked the football guys, some personal get-to-know-you questions, I want to do that with you, Emma, too. Just kind of, everybody get to know who you are. And I'll stick with one of the questions I asked the guys, too. How do you get hyped up for a volleyball game? Any music you listen to, or you got that pregame ritual?
I don't really listen to any specific music, but something I have to do. I can't wear any other color headband than green. I have to wear a green headband. So that's a weird thing, but
little superstition.
Yeah. But that's about the only thing that I can think of.
What's the biggest motivating factor for you on the volleyball court?
On the volleyball court is knowing that if I do my job at the net, I make my defensive player on the backside 10 times easier. So blocking and hitting. But
what is your favorite sport outside of volleyball?
Outside of volleyball, I love to watch hockey.
Hockey? Why do you like hockey?
I love the fast pace and aggressiveness of it.
I can see the aggressive nature in volleyball
I like the
too.
fights.
Nice. What is your proudest moment? And you can put that in volleyball tense or something else.
Proudest moment? I think this season when I hit 20 kills at Longview was a really big step for me, because not only did I hit 20 kills and a career high, but it made me realize that that's so achievable. And so, like, double digits is a goal every game now. So, like, even though it may not be attained every game, I want to reach it every single game, and it's achievable.
You almost scored a whole set.
I know. That's pretty
true,
cool.
Yeah. And I'll let you out of here on this one. What's maybe your favorite thing about Highland?
My favorite thing about Highland, I love the teachers and workers and stuff. They're so flexible with the volleyball stuff. It's made I'm a stressor, so I stress about everything. So my teachers have made it so easy on me, being gone almost every Friday and keeping me up to date on my work, and the trainers and coaches and Tyler and Alice and all them. I love them. So.
All right. Well, Coach and Emma, congratulations on their success so far this season, but best of luck in the next two. Hopefully we can finish the regular season strong and get ready for districts, and looking forward to the matchups. Of course, we've got cross country coming up. We'll chat with head coach Chad Clevenger and Zekarias Philipo coming up here in just a bit here on Scottie Sports Talk.
What could you accomplish in as little as 9 months? What if out-of-state students paid the same tuition as in-state students? At Highland Community College, we believe hands-on courses are the key to your success. Enroll today at highlandcc.edu.
And welcome back into Scottie Sports Talk. Mike Smith still with you, of course, and now chatting cross country with head coach Chad Clevenger and Zekarias Philipo. And Coach, since we last talked, a couple different competitions, but we'll start off with the most recent action at Johnson County, where a lot of great performances. Zekarias, of course, finishing first place overall on the day, and the gals, I believe, finished first place as a team, and the men finished second. But talk about running there at Johnson County, and what kind of the mentality that you had going into that meet.
We went in the meet knowing and feeling that we were one of the better teams. We had 4 Jayhawk conference schools there, and we really felt like we wanted to make a statement, getting ready to go in the regional meet. So on the women's side, we said, okay, we're expecting to win this thing. We're going out to win this thing, and Johnson's getting ready to cut their program, and felt like Johnson was really going to come out. That was our last home meet they were ever going to have, and we really felt like we were going to get a good challenge from them. And so we told the guys, said, expect them to run a little bit more than better than what they have been. And they surprised us on the men's side. But it was a good performance. It was a good race for us.
Zekarias, I mentioned obviously you got first place at the meet, and Coach saying that he expected the level of competition. I know there wasn't a whole bunch of runners, but the level of competition to be pretty stout there. And did you feel that that you got pushed pretty well at that meet?
Yeah, going through a meet, I knew those guys. I ran with them before through indoor and outdoor, so I knew how fast we were gonna go. So I was just going with them.
Kind of help set the tone, I'm sure, and obviously take first place. And how do you feel that a performance like that kind of maybe gets you ready for what's up next in regionals?
For regionals, more focused on like running fast. That's my main goal right now, to just push myself through like the last mile and stuff. So
I wanted to ask you kind of too. I know we talked to you earlier on Scottie Sports Talk Edition, but how you feel that maybe your season's kind of progressed. I mean, have you made the strides that that you wanted to individually, to kind of better your time and kind of maybe make some adjustments?
so far, yes. I've really wanted to like break 26 coming here, and I did that my first race. So I was more happy. So just waiting to run more PRs.
Of course, that was pretty quick to accomplish that feat for you there. If you said you accomplished that one, of course, in the very first meet. And one of the other meets that we hadn't talked about, Coach, was at Fort Hays. And obviously, a great performance around. The men finished 5th out of 15 teams, and the women 7th out of 14 teams. But Zekarias led the way on the men's side, Ivana on the girls' side. What did you take from that meet and how the teams performed?
Well, we learned that we're pretty good swimmers. We had quite a bunch of puddles there, and so we were really battling some water, weren't we?
Yep.
At one point, I think it was knee deep. Yeah, knee deep. So we really battled it. But it was one of those things said, okay, times aren't going to matter today. It's about how we compete, and we're going to get muddy, and it's inevitable. So let's go out and have fun. Let's go out and beat some people, and let's not worry about the time. So I felt like we really accomplished what we wanted to accomplish out there.
It sounds like then that was a type of a meet, obviously, like you said, throughout the times, but it's about mentality more than anything else there in that scenario, and the runners seemed like they maybe adjusted to that and were able to persevere through that type of a situation.
Yeah, and we luckily we got there on Friday night, and we started running on the course, and all of a sudden we were probably about 2 miles into the run, and it just starts pouring. And so that right there told us what to expect the next day. And so that was a good opportunity for us to really prepare for the next day and know what we're getting into. Because Fort Hays is really a meet that we want to run fast at. It's one of the best courses we run on, and we see about every conference school. And so we changed but what the thing with Zach is he ran, as slow as the course ran, I think he ran about the same time or maybe a little faster than he did a year ago. So we were talking about the course probably being about a minute or a minute and a half slower than normal. And for him to be able to do that was fantastic.
Zach, you ever had any situations like that in any of the meets you've competed in before where it's been like that, those conditions you have to deal with?
Yeah, my senior year in high school, my regional meet, it was really muddy. It was just like that. So I didn't like it, but I have no choice but to run it. So
I'm sure, obviously, it sounds like you persevered right through it and still put together a pretty good performance, though. Well, Zach, I won't put you through the other part of the interview. Of course, we got to know you a little bit last time, so I won't take you through that here this time around. But Coach, I wanted to ask you before I let you guys go about preparation for regionals. I mean, what does it take? Obviously, you go over the course of the season to get better, but anything particular in this time frame to get ready for regionals?
Well, the whole course is going to be really hilly. They said it's going to be one of the toughest courses that we may ever see. And so we're lucky being in Highland where we get to see a hill no matter where we go. We walk out of our dorm and we got a hill to go up or down. And so I think we'll be prepared hill-wise. We're a little banged up a little bit. So, one of our girls, we're gonna sit out at the region meet and get her healthy and fresh for the national meet. And so, we're going to go out there, we're going to battle and show that we are a top level team.
Coach Zach, congratulations on so far, the success that you guys have had, and best of luck at regionals as well.
Thank you.
And of course, we'll continue with Scottie Sports Talk. We've got a special guest, Vice President of Student Services, Eric Ingmeyer, will be coming up next on Scottie Sports Talk.
I chose to come to Highland Community College because of the affordability. With my scholarship, I'll be graduating debt-free. But the best part is, I'm getting the same college experience as a lot of my friends who go to four-year universities.
Highland Community College. Enroll today at highlandcc.edu.
And welcome in for our final segment of Scottie Sports Talk, the third edition of the year. If you'd like to watch Scottie Sports Talk back from the previous episodes, you can go to our, of course, website on ScottieAthletics.com or YouTube channel, Scottie Network, or Scottie Sports Network. And of course, you find all of the archived Scottie Sports Talk and tonight's episode as well. Mike Smith with now Vice President of Student Services, Eric Ingmeyer. Eric, thanks for taking the time to join us.
Yeah, thank you.
Looking forward to having you here on Scottie Sports Talk. But I kind of wanted to, let everybody know exactly, what, as Vice President of Student Services, you do here at Highland.
Yeah, so, really what I'm doing is helping support the success of all our students, and really work with a great team of individuals as we just try to fulfill the mission of the college and really just try to, every student that we come in contact with, seeing what we can do to help them have a successful academic career, as well as, for our student athletes, helping any way we can to help them as well. So, yeah, it's a good job, and it's fun. It's always something to do. So it's never the same day at Highland.
Well, you came here, of course, in July, so you haven't been at Highland quite too long yet. But you got experience with smaller schools, obviously going to Manhattan Christian College, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but also in your previous jobs as well. But what's your kind of thoughts about being here at Highland so far?
What I love about it is a small community, so everybody kind of gets to know each other, and I think that really provides a great atmosphere and place for students to build community with one another. As you heard earlier with the football guys, talking about, they're saying there's nothing to do, which, I could say there's plenty to do. There's some fun stuff, but I think what it is, you do have to start building those friendships with other people and really kind of get outside your bubble. And I think that's what's great about Highland is we really want our students to get to know each other, to build those friendships, because we know some of those are going to last a lifetime.
As a student athlete yourself at Manhattan Christian College, you played soccer, of course, and I believe finished second in the nation one year, and then went on to coach the women's soccer team there. But as a student athlete, being in a small atmosphere like that, how do you take those, that time that you had as a student athlete to kind of tell student athletes here at Highland, that hey, this can be one of the best times of your life?
I think what it is you learn a lot. In any situation you're in, you learn, how you are as an individual. I think for me, what was big as a student athlete is it helped me develop my leadership skills. Being a captain of the team for 3 years really just kind of allowed me to, have those talks with different players, have to rise to the occasion in those big games, lead in practices, a lot of different things. I think it kind of builds those leadership mentality in you. Also, going through some adversity. One year I tore my ACL before the season started, and so I had to sit out a year there, and that was really tough. And so what I was able to do is really just work through that, knowing that I had a role on the team. Even that year of just helping coach and supporting our students there. And so, I think that's what you kind of learn as a student athlete is you got to go through adversities, you go through those times that the great wins of your seasons, and so I think all that together kind of develops and forms you as a person as you move on in life.
It sounds like obviously you have plenty to draw from as a student athlete as well, and kind of can help relate to some of the athletes here at Highland too.
Yeah, I think what we try to do is, is talk to some of the student athletes already here, and just telling them, one, I think, sometimes you just think that all there is sports, and when you just think that the whole time, it moves your perspective in life some, and I think being able to kind of come back and realize that, if they look at there's more to life than just that sport, that perspective, I think those athletes actually are going to be better. Because they understand that this is a game, right? And they have this opportunity, a unique opportunity they can't take for granted. I think a lot of times athletes will take for granted their games or their seasons, and they only have so many to play in college, and so I think being able to realize that and get a good perspective, helps those students.
I asked our special guest earlier from the New England Patriots, Brandon King, about his time playing at the junior college level. Of course, you played at Manhattan Christian, which NAIA?
NCCA, so National Christian College.
Yeah.
Yep.
kind of that level of
Yes,
in that capacity. But not a lot of athletes get the opportunity to play college sports, whether it be whatever sport it may be. And, of course, you got to play in soccer. But what would you tell an athlete that is getting the chance and maybe wants to consider to play sports at the next level? What would you tell them about taking that opportunity?
We had a couple players on our team a couple years after that. I actually was an assistant coach, the men's team, for a while after I played there. We had a guy that played for the Trinidad Tobago national team. Serginho Sandy was his name, and he played for us and then went on, played a year at New England Revolution, played some other places. So he played at the next level. And really what it is, and we had a couple other players that did that. But what was interesting is they really, when it came down to it, it was just that they got the opportunity. And so they went out and they worked hard, and they were in the right place at the right time, and were able to make the most of it. And that's what I would say, those students that are looking to kind of go to the next level is you really have to promote yourself, and you have to get those looks by other people, and sometimes it's who you know.
I'll let you out of here on this one. To any prospective student that is looking for a college to continue their education and maybe their athletic career as well, what would be your sales pitch of Highland?
I would say, I'm just new, but here's what I would say that I've discovered so far. One is that this atmosphere, this environment here is that we support our students. We want them to be successful, so that's academically as well as when they're on the field or on the court. And so with that, a student can come here knowing that we're going to support them. We want them to be successful. We want them to compete at the highest level. There's a lot of good coaches here that are really push their kids to want to get to that next level. And we have a lot of students, I've heard in the past the students going on to Division I schools, and we'll have the same thing this year with a lot of our different sports, and I think that's what Highland brings, is those opportunities to get to the next level. But we're also going to develop you as a person, your leadership skills, also working with you to know that there's a bigger perspective than just in Highland. And so I think that's what we would help any of those prospective students do.
No doubt, and you can check out highlandcc.edu for more information on the school as well to get a good overview of Highland Community College. That's going to do it for Scottie Sports Talk this week. Thanks, Eric, for taking the time to join us, and of course, thanks to all of our other guests as well. Got plenty of opportunities to come out and support the Scotties here in the next week or so. We've got volleyball coming up on Wednesday against Heston. They will also play at home against Cali coming up next Monday. Football teams at home on Saturday as they look for their third win of the season. They'll take on Fort Scott. And also, of course, we've got the basketball season on the horizon. Start of November brings the start of college basketball, too. So you want to keep up to date on Scottie Athletics, tune in to Scottie Sports Talk and ScottieAthletics.com. Thanks for watching Scottie Sports Talk, our third edition of the year.